Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. For this episode today on WHOTEEWHO'S Garage, we're going to be doing an oil change on this right here. This is a 2011 Ford F-250 Super Duty. Oil changes on these are super quick and easy. You do it yourself, you're going to save yourself a ton of money. Over half of what they're charging at those little quickie lube places now. But yeah, let me show you everything we're going to be using, the tools, and we're going to get right to it. Check it out. So the book on these calls for 5W20 synthetic. I went ahead and got the good stuff, the royal purple. Almost not much more money. This is like $5 more than the cheap store brand stuff. So a vehicle, you want it to last a long time. I used to use super cheapo oil and not care, but these days I try to put the good stuff in there, make the thing last longer, be more dependable. I like these K&N filters because you can get a socket on the bottom of them. Can't tell you how many times I've had oil filters be jammed on there and have to, beat them off with a screwdriver and whatnot. But the part number for K&N is HP 2010 for these Fords. I'll put links down below where you can find all this stuff if you want. A funnel to put the new oil in, and 16mm socket to get the drain plug out. But let's get it done quick. Now, you don't have to, but I pretty much always take that top cap off. Man, I think I broke a bone in my hand yesterday, so I can't even undo that. How sad is that? But you take that oil filler cap off, it'll let that oil drain quicker. A lot of them even says on the cap what to put in there, 5W20. That's what I just showed you a minute ago. So we'll set that there, and while we're sitting here looking, right here is going to be your oil dipstick where we're going to check the oil levels after we fill it back up. This one right here is your transmission dipstick. So fill it up and check the level right here on the same side. But let's get underneath it, get that old filter off, and drain the oil out. All right, so from the front of the truck, there's the grill there, the front clip. Come back right to the center, and just behind your axle, super easy, there is the oil pan and the drain plug, and there is the oil filter. Last one that I put in there was a Fram. Got lots of hate on the Fram, but I was hurting for money last time at the oil change, so I got the cheapest one I could get. But like I said, I like those K&N, so I got my socket here. Don't remember if I said it yet or not, but on this Ford it should be a 16mm. And since I was the last one to change the oil, see how easy that was to get loose? Oh man. Changing the oil on a different car yesterday, I pulled something in my hand where I really hurt my hand. But 16mm, I'm gonna get all this oil drained out into the pan. And like I said, since I'm the one that changed the oil on this last time, I know I'll be able to get this off with just my hands. Y'all don't gotta crank down crazy hard on these oil filters, y'all. So let me be right back. Yep, I'm loosening it up with just one hand. Be right back. I gotta use two hands here quick. There she goes, draining the oil out there. Once that quits, let me move this pan before it gets all over the driveway. Once that quits draining, we'll put the plug bolt back in. I'm gonna get this filter off here in a second too. Now, if you're looking at getting a Fram, it looks like the part number is a PH2 there, but like I said, I'm the one that changed the oil last time, so I know I can get it off hand tight. Frams, one good thing they do is they put this grippy stuff on there, so you can actually get a good grip on there. But now, I'm dropping the oil filter out. I'm gonna drop it in the pan, and then slap the new one on. All right, now we got everything put back together from the underside. We got the drain plug back in. We got that new K&N filter in there. I'm gonna tell you what I do. You do what you want to do, but with the oil filter, I always hand tight it, and then I do another quarter to another half turn. With this is a 1-inch socket. I don't think I said that already, but you could use a adjustable wrench or vice grips or whatever if you have to. Just don't booger it up too much so you can get it back off. But yeah, you don't got to get crazy tight with this or this. Same thing with these. Hand tight, then a quarter turn. Don't get crazy with them. I'm here to tell you, don't get crazy with them. Also, everybody's always been told by their grandpa or whatever, on the rubber seal on the filter, everybody takes a dab of oil and rubs it on that rubber seal before you screw it up. But now we got all the oil out right there. I even threw a rag in there, and now we just gotta fill it back up with oil. I don't think I said it, but you can see how clean that filter looks, and I wiped all around that. What I like to do is wipe everything down so that if you do spring an oil leak, you know that you got an oil leak because you wiped it down last time you were under there. So just a thought there. Almost forgot to show you guys the cost here. So those K&N filters, they're not the cheapest ones, but I think it's worth it for the ease of getting it off. $16.99, and then that oil was 40 bucks for the 5-quart, and we used almost 7, so roughly 50 bucks. So $65, you can get the oil changed in 20 minutes on your Super Duty. These days, those quick lube places are charging $150 for those oil changes near me. So save yourself a whole bunch of money, especially over time. My goodness, that adds up. We put a lot of miles on that work truck, but there you have it, 50-some beans for your oil change instead of 100-some at the quickie lube. All right, now I showed you where the oil cap was, so we drained all the oil out. Now we got to put it back in again. Synthetic 5W20 is what this stuff calls for. Royal purple. It's got good reputation, so on and so forth. So this holds. The book says these F250s. Oh my goodness! I just got a spider biting my leg. But the book says these F250s take 7 quarts or so. So I'm gonna put 6.5 in and check it and fire up the motor and fill it up till it's on the dipstick. But here we go with the Royal Purple. If you never used it before, it actually is purple. But I'm gonna put this whole 5 quarts in here because we know it's gonna take at least 5 quarts. So now checking the dipstick. I told you where the dipstick was, right here. And yep, so that took me, see that purple oil on there? That took me about 6 3/4 quarts to get it back up on the dipstick where it needs to be. But you definitely don't want to overfill them, but you definitely don't want to underfill them. So yeah, buddy, piece of cake. I'll just double check it. Piece of cake to change the oil on these Fords. Plenty of room to get at everything. Everything's easy to get to on these Super Duties. Then the last thing we got to do, watch my drippies here. Last thing we got to do, don't forget to put your oil cap back in there. So, but yeah, always start it up and then recheck the level. But hey, changing the oil on the 6.2 liter Super Duties, piece of cake. All you gotta have is something to drain it into, a wrench, some new oil, and a new filter. But hey, appreciate y'all. Let me know what you run and your favorite type of oil. I always like hearing those stories and why you like them. But hey, appreciate y'all. Make sure you're subscribed to WHOTEEWHO'S Garage. We'll see you on the next one. WHOTEEWHO.